unfortunate news coming through right now from the NPP's quarters and in Parliament, because news suggests that a sitting member of Parliament, or the sitting member of Parliament for AKWATIA, Ernest Kumi, has unfortunately passed. And we've just got confirmation of that word. And rather unfortunate, rather unsettling news. He has been in the center of quite some controversy. Remember his constituency, one of the many challenged, and one that is currently being challenged as well by the NDC. He was cited for contempt some point earlier on this year. The party, the NPP, went to court and had that reversed at the Supreme Court. And essentially, he's no more. It's pretty much all that we have to say. The AKWATIA Member of Parliament, Ernest Kumi, is no more, and that's the latest unfortunate news that's just coming through from Parliament. We've got confirmation from colleagues. My colleague Christian Yale is in Parliament for us as well, has been gauging the mood already from Parliament, but we've been calling and seeking to get word when the news began to come through. A very hard pill to swallow for anybody waking up to the realization that a husband or father possibly is no more, no less than a sitting member of Parliament for the good people of AKWATIA, no longer with us, a part of the living. And I mentioned we will connect with my colleague Christian Yale just shortly and then get a sense of really what's happening on the floor of the House. But if you're wondering who Ernest Kumi is, just want to run you through that just briefly. Born on the 5th of December 1984, he's a member of the New Patriotic Party. Obviously, he's the member of Parliament for AKWATIA in the Eastern region. He was declared winner of the 2024 parliamentary elections with 19,269 votes, defeating the NDC's Henry Boachi-Yadom, secured the NPP nomination in 2023 by defeating the incumbent Member of Parliament, Amasei. And he's been largely known for the last 6 months, really, for the controversy surrounding his constituency, because in February of 2025, we know that he was convicted by the Koforidua High Court for contempt after defying an injunction that barred him from being sworn in as a member of Parliament. In fact, on the dawn of the 9th Parliament, you recall what was almost a debate on the floor of the House when the clerk to Parliament raised objection to the fact that they had been served with papers from the Koforidua High Court that he was to cease from holding himself out as a member of Parliament because the NDC had challenged that particular seat. The consensus which was reached as championed by the minority leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, was that he will swear himself in and live with the consequence. The consequence was that in February of this year, he was contempt processes, or he was found or convicted of contempt by the Koforidua High Court, having continued to hold himself out as a member of Parliament. Subsequently, he, along with the NPP, went to the Supreme Court to have that set aside. It was something they went and were successful with. It was set aside, but unfortunately, he's not been able to live to see the full term, even as the challenges of this suit continues in the High Court in the Eastern region. And very unfortunate news that's coming through. We will, in the course of quite shortly, this extended bulletin, hopefully connect with Christian Yale, who's in Parliament, and just gauge briefly as well what the mood is like in Parliament. But the unfortunate news right now is the AKWATIA Member of Parliament, Ernest Kumi, has passed. And that's just the news that we can't confirm to you right now. Let's just try and connect with Christian Yale just briefly. Yale has joined us on Zoom. Christian, talk to us what the mood is like, which has gripped Parliament. This unfortunate news just coming in.
Eric, yes. So as of now, we do not know exactly what caused his death, but already we have spoken with a number of the members of Parliament on the minority side. I have spoken with Dr. Muhammad Tia Kabiru, MP for Waliwali. All that he said was that, it's unfortunate. And I've also tried to get in touch with the minority leader himself, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, who has not yet responded. But when you speak to the likes of the minority chief whip, in the person of Habib Idris, for instance, he had also confirmed it and says, for instance, that they are currently in touch with the family and making few arrangements as a matter of fact. Eric, I can confirm to you, for instance, that just somewhere last week, Ernest Kumi was in Parliament, either on the Wednesday or on the Thursday. He was in Parliament, and among some of the debates and even the issues concerning the business statement for this week, you could see him in the background, joining and having this kind of conversation and discussion with his colleagues on that side, almost at the backbench over there where he usually sits. And I've even confirmed with some of their colleagues on the parliamentary press corps, for instance, that he was on a number of media shows, for instance, just last week, Friday, even during the holiday, for a fact that he was featured on a number of those shows. And so this comes really as a great surprise. And also, I mean, taking in cognizance the fact that over the period, his seat, for instance, has been one that has been under a bone of contention. So this comes, and when you look at the press room, for instance, all of us, as a matter of fact, are shocked at the news that 40-year-old MP for Ernest Kumi has passed on, which is a very sad one indeed for all of us here. We are still trying to make contact with the leadership of the caucus, as a matter of fact. Just like I said, I've gotten in touch with a few of them. Habib Idris, for instance, as well as the MP for Walwali, Dr. Mahamatia Kabiru, who have all confirmed that this is true. We are still trying to understand exactly what caused it, what causes them, whether an accident or an illness or whatever that could be. But you know that just some few hours or minutes from now, Parliament is expected to sit, with today being added to the extended sittings. So we're just expecting and getting ready for that when this news struck or broke. It is really one that is devastating, the least to say. And we just look forward to see how MPs are going to react to this news, as a matter of fact, and what they would have to say. We know that the minority MPs were to stage a march or protest to the premises or office of the Ijoko to protest the arrest and detention and even the bail conditions of the former boss of the National Food and Buffer Stock Company. So that was also one that we're just lurking around to get it moved in full swing. Then all of us will join them, as a matter of fact, when this has come, which would indeed disrupt all other, plans and processes and activities, and could, as a matter of fact, cause a change in the line of programming for today in the chamber. Eric.
Right then, Chris, thank you very much. That's Christian Yali, confirming, all but confirming the rather unfortunate news. And like you heard him mention, this will disrupt planned activities for the day in Parliament and even for the minority as well. And coming rather unfortunate news.
Absolutely.
Coming
and
through.
To learn that he's only 40-year-old, born 5th December 1984. So obviously he couldn't reach his 41st birthday. In certain Akan jurisdictions, they'll say he's 41 years old. But I mean, on paper, we know he's 40 years old. Such a young man. His smile, as we are shown on TV, is now frozen in time and in memory. But on the parliamentary front of things, we expect that it will kickstart processes to make sure that the constituents, the residents of AKWATIA are properly represented. We expect that the caucus, once they have gathered and come to terms with this, will inform or notify the Speaker thereof. The processes will be kickstarted by informing the Electoral Commission as well. This is going to be a rolling story for the rest of the day, obviously, dampening the mood for a Monday. And it's really sad. Condolences to the family. May he so rest.
I think they will be hardest hit. They will be hardest hit.
Absolutely.
The immediate family, wife, children, and all of that. Condolences.